So today I'm gonna be cooking chicken and I'm gonna show you guys how to get the biggest discount at Costco. Not only that, I'm gonna show you how to prep the chicken. I'm gonna cook it 3 different ways today: on the grill, chicken alfredo, and then also a chicken stock, all from one chicken purchase. And you probably already know what that is. That's right, whole chicken. This is the big hack. Now, kind of obvious, but most people don't buy this because it seems kind of intimidating and it seems like really expensive, but it's not. This is $31 for 2 whole chickens, which is the same price as if you were gonna buy 3 packs of chicken breasts or chicken thighs that's already deboned, de-skinned, but you get so much more protein with this. Literally, I think it's double the weight, so you could say it's like a 50% discount, but it's not just double the protein or double the weight, probably like quadruple the food or the goodness. So I'm gonna show you guys today how to do that. I'm gonna go ahead and get everything prepped. Let me show you what I'm using to break this whole chicken down. All right, obviously I've got the 2 whole chickens. They call them young chickens. I'm not exactly sure why they call them that. And also this is organic. So that's another reason why these maybe cost a little bit more. Some of the comments mentioned that whole chicken used to cost them like $3 or $4, which is crazy, but of course inflation. So yeah, I got these at Costco. I'll be breaking them down with these tools. Now, if all you have is a really nice sharp knife, that's really all you need. I like to have the paring knife and the scissors. Yes, it's kind of, you know, high maintenance, but you'll see why I like these 3. I'm also gonna sharpen these before I get ready, and then you're gonna wanna use some kind of cutting board. We switched to all wooden cutting boards, but today, because it's just easier to clean, I'm using our last plastic cutting board. Let's see how long that lasts. I've got a whole bunch of plates, got this bowl for, well, you'll see why I have that bowl. And this is what I'm sharpening with. This is called the Mini Sharp 3 Plus. And this is made specifically for global knives. So I'm gonna go ahead and get everything set up, get this opened up, get everything all nice and mise en place, and then we'll break down the chicken. Inside of the chicken, there's a little bag of goodness. I know some people might be grossed out by this, but do not throw that away. That's the organs, and I'll show you what we're gonna do with this later. It's very, very good for you, and more people need to eat this stuff, but you don't actually have to eat it to get the goodness out of it. Gotta fill this up with water. This whole process of cutting the chicken or breaking down the whole chicken will be way easier if you have really sharp knives. If you don't, it's gonna be very difficult. By the way, these are global knives. My first nice knife that I bought when I first moved out. Shout out to Anthony Bourdain. Paring knife as well. As I mentioned, I'm gonna break one down really quickly. I'm gonna show you the different steps. And I just wanna say, I am not an expert. I never worked at the restaurants. I didn't get professionally trained. All this is from, honestly, watching YouTube videos just like this and doing it a whole bunch of times. And I'm still learning, but it's not that intimidating. And the one thing you don't see really, and there's only a few videos where they walk you through the whole thing uncut, no pun intended. And so that's what I want to do today. I want to show you. The first one, I'm going to go through the steps real quick. Second one, I'm just going to let the video record and I won't edit out. So you see how quickly it can be if you practice enough. One thing I like to do is have a cutting board that doesn't slide around, especially if you're using one of these plastic ones. So I put down a wet towel like this. That way it doesn't slip, because you definitely don't want this slipping on you. See? Nice and tight, no slippage. First chicken coming up. I've got plates over here because you're gonna wanna separate your different cuts. First thing you want to do is go ahead and remove the drum and thigh away from the rest of the chicken. And so I'm going to show you two different ways to do this. Like I said, you could totally use a knife. So that's what we're going to do first. You're just going to cut that skin that's between the chicken breast and the drum, I guess you could say. Okay, and what you're going to see as you're exposing the meat is you're going to see where all the connections are. Once that's done, all you're going to do is take this thigh right here and you're going to break it like this. See that? You're looking for that guy right there, and then that is going to expose the joint, and all you're going to do at this point is cut right on through, and you're going to get a nice clean piece of chicken thigh out of it. There you go, cut right through that. See? No friction at all. And that's what you're gonna get. Now I'm gonna put this off to the side for right now. Now I'm gonna do it to the other side, okay? This time I'm gonna use the scissors. I just like the scissors because it's easier to manage, but also just wanted to show you another option. Cut that skin right between the chicken breast and that drum. So you can kind of pull it apart. I like to further cut though to expose all this. Same thing over here, grab that thigh, expose that little thigh bone, and then that's gonna let you cut right through. Same thing. Now at this point, I would still use the knife because even though there's not gonna be a lot of friction, there is still a joint, like cartilage there. All right, there we go. Got that out. Next thing you're gonna do is remove this wing. To do that, very similarly, you're going to just kind of find the joint right here. There we go. There we go. Boom. This you can break down further, but I don't, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with these parts at the end. Same thing right here. See where this connects right here? That's where I just cut right down the middle, right along the breast. I find the joint. And as you do this more and more, you're gonna get better at it. Look how easy that was. Bam. So now you're left with the chicken breast and the rest of the chicken, okay? This is really important because a lot of people like the breast meat, and you want to try to keep that intact as much as possible. One thing I do is I do remove the skin. Just go at the top of the breast and you literally just rip off that skin like that. Save this because this is good eats, and I'll show you what I do with this as well later. Chicken breast, find this middle part, okay? And all you're gonna do is very carefully with your knife, you're gonna go right down the center. You're gonna see like a bone there, and you wanna cut along it. You don't wanna cut through it, obviously, but what you're trying to do here is remove the chicken breast from that center bone. Okay, so at this point, what's kind of interesting is you could, with your fingers, just kind of pull at it once you get it removed. And what's kind of interesting about the chicken breast, once you make that little cut, is you can run your fingers along here, and watch this, you can just pull it. And there's two reasons I do this, because that way you get all the meat out, but also see this right here? This is the tender, the chicken tender right here. Now I totally butchered it, no pun intended, but look at this. This right here is a tender, okay? This you want to save, and you're gonna wanna cook this differently than the chicken breast, or at least not as long, because this is not only tender, it's much smaller than the chicken breast, so I put that on the chicken breast plate, by the way. I'm going to cut the rest of this off. Boom, look at that. Again, I'm not a pro, but this is what I do. Beautiful. Now I'm gonna do the other side. Chicken tender. chicken breast. All right, so I got the carcass, and you're not gonna throw this away because this is what we're gonna use for the base of our chicken bone broth or chicken broth. And then this is the thigh and the drumstick, which you can totally separate. And might separate that later on the second one. You can also see the wing. This is what I usually do. I just leave it like this. And then here's the chicken breast with those chicken tenders separated. They're beautiful. And now I'm gonna break this one down. But what I'm gonna do here is just not cut this, not edit it. I wanna show you how quickly you can do this at home, or at least how quickly I can do it. And I'm not even a pro. I haven't done it very often. One more thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this part in with all the guts. And this is literally just gonna be saved for later when I make that chicken bone broth. This is super easy, and like I said, you're saving yourself 50% of the price and you're getting so much more. Yes, you're gonna get less of each different piece. I mean, you're only getting 2 chicken breasts versus if you're buying that big pack, maybe you're getting 6. Right? And out of this, you're only gonna get 4. This is the way to go in my opinion. And it's gonna just be better for you because when you make that chicken broth and you put that in your soups, in your stews, whatever, even just drinking it, it's so good for your body. So let me go ahead and break down the second chicken and then we'll go from there. Got my plates right here, got my tools. By the way, I didn't even use this paring knife. I just didn't feel like it. And I got my cutting board ready to go. Got my last chicken here. And now I will break this down. So we're gonna start the timer right now and go. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the chicken thigh and drum from the chicken first by cutting that skin right along the chicken breast. I remember I always just passed this and would just buy, you know, the pack of pre-cut, deboned, de-skinned chicken. And when I started doing this, I really enjoyed it, funny enough. Not really for the savings, just because you got so much more out of it. And I felt, especially if you're getting organic chicken or a really high quality one, okay, break that thigh bone. There we go. You're just able to do so much more. And the big thing, and you know, if you've watched this channel enough times, I kind of geek out when it comes to, boom, already done. We're just 1 minute in. You know that I personally think bone broth is underrated. People should definitely add it to their diet if you can. It's really expensive though if you just buy it already made for you, but it's really not that hard. It does take some time to make it for yourself. But if you're gonna do this all at one time, so my thought is maybe buy even like 4 or 6 chickens at a time and just do it all at once, because what you can do is literally freeze the meat you don't use, make a huge thing of chicken bone broth and just have it. You can freeze that too, because that's how they sell it at the store, frozen. So yeah, break that thigh bone, cut right through the cartilage, which is super easy to do. Boom. Where are we at? Look at that, 2 minutes. Bam. Put that on the thigh plate. Next, the wing. Again, same thing. Find where it connects to that breast. Just cut right down center. But yeah, in addition to that, I mean, I'm gonna make chicken alfredo today because one of the girls requested it. And I'm gonna also grill up some chicken. I just decided that last minute with these wings, funny enough, that I'm cutting right now. Bam. This is good eat, but in my opinion, you wanna marinate this and grill it, okay? Put that right there. You can put this on this plate. Now I'm on the second wing. Then of course, the chicken breast, which right now I think is probably like the more popular part of the chicken. And I don't know if it's something with the machines they're using, but I feel like when you cut your chicken down, when you break down your own chicken, you just get way better pieces out of it and way bigger parts of the chicken breast. Okay, one thing I didn't show in the last video, one thing I didn't show in the last one was the skin. I'm just going to rip off this skin right here, just like this. But you want to rip off all the skin if you can and save it all, because that's all great chicken fat that you can render down, and guess what? Use it for cooking. It's way better for you to use that than seed oils. So yeah, even like down here, there's a whole bunch of chicken skin. I'm gonna just remove that. Not that I have to break this down, but I want all this later because I'm gonna render it down for chicken fat that I can use for cooking. See, that's another thing you don't get when you buy each individual piece. You don't get that chicken fat, which in addition to the chicken fat for cooking, chicken skin. Have you ever had chicken skin? It's freaking awesome. All right, cutting down the bone. Where are we at right now? 4 minutes in. And I'm not a pro at this. I haven't even done this a lot compared to other home chefs in my, knowledge. And even to this day, I still watch other people doing this on YouTube because I like to learn different techniques, because there's definitely different ways to do this. So I'm always learning. So just cutting along that bone here as much as possible. This time I'm really separating it. You just got to go real carefully. This is where the paring knife is nice, though I'm not even using it right now. Okay, this time I'm going to remove the whole chicken breast and chicken tender together. I'm just carefully removing it. Try not to get any bones. That's one thing though. The one downside is sometimes you'll get a bone here and there, or like a joint. So there you go. This is the whole chicken breast with the tender, which look how easy this is. You can just rip it off. Bam! You got chicken tenders. Make your kids chicken tenders with this part. Okay, putting that on the breast plate. I think there's a second chicken tender on here too. Let's see. I don't know, like a smaller one. There you go. Then you've got this chicken breast. How far in? So we're about 6 minutes in, and I'm almost done. By the way, shout out to Costco. I'd say of all the things that they sell quality-wise compared to, other brands, their chicken is legit. It's legit. And I think the price is right, even though it's expensive. Everything's expensive right now. When it comes to organic chicken, you just can't beat it. I have seen equivalent price chicken at Whole Foods actually, so I kind of take that back, but I shop at Costco more than I do Whole Foods, so, and the quality is there here. Okay, same thing, carefully just cutting. And what I'm doing here is I'm pulling on the chicken breast as I'm carefully slicing it away from the bones, the carcass, okay? Just take your time. Even though I'm kind of timing this, I'm not trying to rush. The one thing is you really definitely want to avoid those bones, especially if you have kids. So you're going to see the bones, but sometimes one sneaks by. Okay. Chicken breast number, technically 4, done. Let me grab that chicken tender. Wow, it's a little bit gnarly looking. Put that over there. There's that other one. I'm not even gonna worry about it. Look how big this guy is. This freaking is huge, and this is organic. There you go. What was that? Not even 8 minutes. And I got my carcass over here. Gonna put it in here, and there you go. 8 minutes. It took me 8 minutes and wasn't rushing. I could have probably done it in 6 minutes, but I was vlogging and showing you guys. So you guys, as you learn how to do this, you can break down 2 chickens easily in 20 minutes, if not in 15 minutes as you get better. I've seen people literally do this in a matter of minutes per chicken. So, All right, there was one more thing I want to show you. So this is the chicken thigh with the drum, and there's all this extra skin here. What you're gonna do is look for this little piece of fat right there, okay? And you're gonna cut along that. And this is how you're gonna separate the thigh from the drumstick, okay? And then you're just gonna find where these two guys meet, and see, when you kind of dig in there, you're gonna see there's like a little joint. You don't wanna cut across a bone, but you wanna cut right in between those two parts, okay? Let me just show you how to do this. It breaks really easily. Cut across it. That's not bone, by the way. That is just the cartilage, which isn't gonna hurt nothing. And there you go. That's how you separate the chicken thigh. By the way, this is a little oyster. This is also a good part. And the drumstick. I also like to remove the skin for when I'm cooking today, the way I'm gonna cook it. So I'll go ahead and remove that guy right there. There you go. That's the chicken thigh with, of course, the bone in there. All right, so I am totally done breaking down the chickens. 4 huge chicken breasts. I mean, these are very large. Then we got 4 pieces of chicken thighs, which you saw I removed the skin and I removed the bones and I put it into my bowl of bones. I mean, this is the carcass, the rib bones, everything, including the organ meat, and then there's the chicken thigh bones. So those are skinless and boneless now, and there's 4 of them. Then these are the 4 chicken tenders, which are off of the breast meat, so you don't get that. And this is all the chicken skin, which I'm gonna show you what I'll do with this later. And then lastly, the wings and the drums. This is probably the last thing I'm going to use, and I will show you at the end of today. And now I'm gonna cook. So I'm going to grill the chicken breast. I'm gonna show you how to make perfect chicken breast. It's really easy and you can make it very tasty without over drying it. You can make it juicy, but there's a couple tools you need. And with both the chicken breast and the chicken thighs, I'm gonna make a chicken alfredo for the girls because they requested it. So yeah, it all starts with this right here, which is the garlic olive oil. Today I'm actually gonna do a garlic avocado oil. I use garlic olive oil all the time, so I'm gonna make a whole bunch of this. I'm just using avocado oil because I'm gonna grill the chicken breast on a high heat. Olive oil does fine, but you do tend to get like a smell. There's like a burnt olive oil smell because it's not a high heat oil. Avocado oil is a little bit better for high heat, so I'm just gonna use this. And I'm also gonna use this for the alfredo as well. So might as well make a bunch. I'll show you how to do it. Just get your garlic and break it apart. Nothing fancy here. Now, just gonna crush the garlic just like that. Peel it. That makes it super easy to remove. Obviously do it with all of them. I use a garlic press after that. It's just the easiest tool to get it to the consistency you want it. Boom, take your oil. Today, like I said, I'm using avocado oil. I'm gonna put a whole bunch in there. We usually make this at least once a week, and then we have garlic olive oil, or in this case, garlic avocado oil for multiple dishes. Today I'm gonna be using it for both grilling the chicken breast and for the chicken alfredo that I'm gonna be making next. If you can, do this a few hours earlier so that your oil is flavored by the garlic. All right, so I'm gonna let that oil just marinate a little bit. I'm gonna put away the drumsticks and the wings and the bones and the carcass and the leftover breasts that I'm not gonna use and clean, and then I'll start grilling those other chicken breasts. But I'll show you what I do before that. Okay, so I'm going to grill some chicken breast and the chicken tenders. This is our new favorite right now. I always insisted on using chicken thighs because there's more flavor. I like the fat, but the girls don't. And so I've been making this lately. And honey, do you like my chicken breast?
Yeah, I love it.
Has it been moist?
It has been, yeah.
Very moist. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. And the reason I'm doing this for the chicken alfredo as well is because I'm going to use chicken thighs for myself, but I'm going to cook this up on the grill first, have it ready, and I'm gonna add it to the girls' chicken alfredo. I'll show you what to do. But this right here, if you just want some succulent, juicy, tasty chicken breast, this is exactly what I do to not only cook it perfectly, but for it to not be dry. Okay, it's super easy. Nothing to this. This avocado oil has been marinating for a while. As I mentioned before, the longer you can do this, the better. Now, one thing that is important is you don't really want any of the garlic to get on there. So I just want the oil. I'm just gonna put up a little bit, not too much. Just like that. All I'm doing is I'm taking a spoon. The reason I like using a spoon, by the way, is because if I'm using a brush, then I'm gonna have raw chicken juice on a brush and it might be harder to clean. And so that's just why I use this. I'll show you exactly what I'm gonna do though. And then salt and pepper. On the thicker pieces, I'll put a little bit more salt. On the chicken tenders, a little bit less, maybe even just one side. Of course, black pepper as well. Same thing. On the thick pieces, I'm gonna salt and pepper both sides. On the chicken tenders, maybe just one side. Boom. Then you just flip it over. And then repeat this step. Easy. Let's grill. So the chicken is ready to go. I have my raw chicken tongs and then I've got my clean tongs right here. Very important for juicy chicken breasts is a thermometer. So there's no getting around this. Honestly, every time I try to eyeball it, I always ruin it. So you're gonna have this, you're gonna cook this to at least 160. They say 165, but I find at 157, 59, let it rest and it'll get up to temp and it's totally fine. The grill is hot. You want this hot. In fact, I'm gonna turn this up. And one thing that is really important is you definitely want to clean your grill. I'll put the link to this in the description or wherever. Sometimes Google has this on the product links. That's like the best grill cleaner ever. And I'm going to close it just so that it dries out. That's good. Oh yeah, nice and clean. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is lay on the bigger chicken breasts because that's gonna take a long time to cook. And the thing that's really important here is you have to oil your chicken. See, chicken breast doesn't have any fat, that's why people like it, but because of it, it has nothing to protect it, so that's why you've got to put that oil on. And as you saw, I'm using avocado oil because, see, it's already smoking. And so yeah, I'm just gonna let it do its thing for probably 1 minute and then flip it. It's been about a minute, and now I'm gonna go ahead and put the chicken tenders. These will cook way faster, by the way. I mean, it's kind of obvious. They're smaller, so that's why I put it on a little bit later. And even if these get done earlier, I can either do one of two things. I can put it on the top shelf or the top rack, or even just remove it altogether. I'm actually cooking these just for myself because I'm freaking starving right now. One thing that's really important is go ahead and check it. I am still using the raw tongs, by the way. See, oh yeah, getting some good grill marks there. I'm gonna leave it for 1 more minute and then I'll flip all of them. You know, one of the biggest lessons I've learned about cooking is experience really does matter, but the thing that is still underrated is paying attention, timing, and taking the temperature. This, I've been cooking meat and especially grilling. Taking the temp of your meat, very, very important. Don't skip it. I'm gonna go ahead and flip the bigger chicken breasts. Still using the raw tongs, by the way. Oh yeah, those, tell me that doesn't look good. I'll flip these guys as well. because these are almost done. In fact, you might be wondering, why don't I cover this? I specifically don't want to be cooking it all around just yet. I want to get these sear marks or these grill marks on there first. And if I were to cover it, the top kind of cooks, and I don't want that. So now that I flipped it, I actually can cover it, but I'm going to go ahead and just leave it for the moment right now and let it cook for another 2 minutes. Okay, it's been about 2 minutes. All right, so this is the last time I'm going to use these raw chicken tongs. I'm going to go ahead and flip these, but now I'm going to turn it, angle it, so that it gets those pretty grill marks that crisscross. Oh yeah, those look great. These guys are basically done. I will let it cook for a hot second more. I want to give these guys some crisscross grill marks too, but these are basically done. Now I will cover this because it's going to be important to cook the bigger chicken breasts all the way through. These guys are very close to being done, but still going to cover them all one time. Clean as you go. Okay, it's been about 1.5 minutes. I'm using the clean tongs now. Let's see here. See, these guys basically are done. I will let these cook one more time, just like that. But I'm not gonna flip those guys back there because they still need a little bit more time. But this will be the last time these chicken tenders are on this grill. I may move them up there, but I might even just put them on the clean plate afterwards. So go ahead and give it 1 more minute. I'm curious, what's your favorite part of the chicken? For me, it's definitely the chicken thighs because of the flavor and the fat. But I know a lot of people like less fat, so just curious what you guys like. I've been so busy filming, I haven't eaten lunch yet. Oil. All right, these are probably done. Go ahead and tempt these guys. Oh, it's getting there. Now the bottom looks pretty good. What I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna remove these. By the way, you gotta tempt both of them because this guy is slightly smaller. So let's just see what this guy is at. See, that's getting really close to done actually. So I'll let this guy cook for 1 more minute, that guy for 2 more minutes, and they should be done too. You want to try chicken tender?
Ooh, yeah.
Want the whole thing?
Sure.
You can have the whole thing. That's a quick marinade too.
Juicy.
Avocado oil today.
Thank you.
Done. Now to make the alfredo sauce. What I'm going to do is make a bechamel sauce first. So I've got all my ingredients for that. Parmesan flour and the butter as well as the milk, which is heating up because I just find it's faster and easier. And I am on time crunch here. I don't think making a bechamel is a traditional way of making chicken fettuccine alfredo. I'm not doing fettuccine, just regular spaghetti. But the girls really like a creamy sauce. And the place we like to eat Italian food is really creamy. So bechamel is kind of like the little hack for me. I am going to add cream as well. But let me show you real quick how to make this. It's pretty easy. First thing, throw all your butter in. This pan has been heating up. You're just going to melt your butter. Flour. Alright, so now the butter has not only cooked the flour, but it's well integrated. So now I'm just going to pour the milk in. Now if I was going to do a really fancy bechamel, I would do this slowly, but I'm going to just pour half of it in and then add the second half once the flour is integrated into the milk mixture. Gonna add the last of the milk. I might hold back some of it because it's a little bit runny, but that's okay because the Parmesan will thicken it up. Okay, so there's 2 more things you want to do with the bechamel. You're going to want to add the garlic. So this is my little trick. Now, I'm I don't know if regular Alfredo has garlic in it, but I like to add it because it's just so delicious. I'm literally just gonna use the garlic in here. The difference is I'm not trying to get a lot of the oil, just the garlic. One little spoonful is plenty, by the way. Just stir it. Now it's really thin, but that's okay because it will thicken when I add the Parmesan. I'm gonna go ahead and start making other part of the Alfredo sauce. Remember that chicken skin? So this is how I use it to get that chicken fat. I'm gonna get all the flavor. I'm not gonna get any of the chewiness for the girls. You wanna have this on kind of a lower heat. I did get it pretty hot, but I lowered the heat down. And all I'm doing here is rendering the fat out. So I got enough fat out. I will still keep this skin for later. I'll show you what I do. But this is plenty for the Alfredo. Now I'm gonna add the onions. Now I'm gonna turn up the heat. So I turned off the heat of the bechamel, and now I'm gonna add the Parmesan. This is the last part. You don't want the heat on for this part. So all I'm gonna do here is mix it. And it's gonna thicken up with that Parmesan. Okay, now what you're gonna do, take your chicken. See, the thing is, since I've temped it, it's perfectly cooked. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add it in there. And if people want more chicken, they can add more chicken. I might as well just put all these chicken tenders in there too. There we go. Put it all in there. Maybe add a little avocado oil.
Okay, here we go. Let's try it.
Them.
All the girls say it's bomb, so it probably is, because they don't lie.
Oh my goodness.
Mmm. So yummy and creamy. Good job, Daddy. She gave 2 thumbs up and said bomb. Thank you, Daddy. That's it.
All right, so it is later in the night. I had to run off because I had some work to do. I'm gonna take all these bones, the carcass, the bones from the chicken thighs and everything else, and show you how I make a chicken stock. It's really, really easy. Get a pan, that oil. You don't need this oil, but I'm gonna show you why I am gonna use it. It smells so good now. Pretty simple here. Just gonna put this all out. Still gonna keep these for later. I'll show you what I do with those. It's really just these 2 pieces and these bones. I mean, 4 chicken thigh bones, and that is it. Going to take this, and I'll just kind of, there we go. This is just all the garlic avocado oil. I'm just gonna put all over this. This is just literally to protect it for what I'm about to do, which is grill it on the same grill that I made the chicken breast on. That is it. Now, time to grill these bones up. Boom. So I've already heated up the grill, super hot, really hot. All I'm trying to do is sear these guys. I'm not really trying to cook it all the way through. There you go. Oh, gotta close the door. All the bones. That's it. Easy. Yes, it's very smoky. That's it. Not a lot here. I'm not trying to cook it fully. I am just trying to get some grill marks. extract a little bit of extra flavor. What am I gonna do here? Not really much. I'm gonna put everything into this pot, fill it up with water, and boil it overnight. Actually, put it on a really, really low simmer. Put it all in there. Remember these guys? Yes. This is, I mean, not necessarily good eats in my opinion, but it's very, very healthy for you. Put it all up in there. Like that. Yep. Kidneys, liver, the neck, I think, heart, all of it. Right in there. Most people just throw this out, but I'm telling you, this is what's gonna supercharge your food. I already got some water. I am using filtered water. There you go. The rule of thumb is you just want to get the water level just to the point where it's covering all your chicken bones. So I'm just gonna get it like about double where it's at right now, and then literally just start boiling it and then turn down the heat and let it do its thing. So one thing I'm gonna do is put this on what's called a control freak. This is a convection stovetop, like a single burner. The reason I do this because I can control the temperature to the lid, like the degree. Also, it's electric, so it's a little bit more safer, I guess, than just leaving the gas stove on, though I've done that in the past. Put this on. Also, when I start boiling this, it's nice to put it underneath this. Yeah, the hood. I'm gonna turn this on and boil the chicken. As I just showed you, it's boiling right now, but I'm gonna turn this down. I'm going to do 190. Yes, this will go to 190. It's gonna keep this at 190, and this will cook for the next 8 hours. In the morning, I will have a very hearty, healthy, and great base to so many dishes. Chicken broth, chicken bone broth, and there's a lot of ways you can hide it. So there you go. That was how I take a Costco whole chicken and make so many dishes out of it, and on top of it, just have extra chicken. So the chicken thighs, I didn't actually use it. It's in the fridge. The chicken wings and the drumsticks, I will marinate and then I'll grill, and it'll be delicious. So there you go. I've got chicken soup. I had the chicken breast that I grilled. I ate the chicken skins, and I used the chicken skins as chicken fat for the food. I've got the chicken thighs for later, and then I will finally eat the chicken wings and the drumsticks after I marinate it for about 3 to 8 hours. 50% off chicken if you buy it whole like that from Costco. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what else you want to see. I know this was a crazy long video, but you know, if you're obsessed about food like me and you love to cook and you love to feed your family delicious but healthy things, this is a video for you. Okay, now to drink something not very healthy. Whiskey. Oh yeah. Good night.